Peacock finally figured it out, and I have a feed now where I can watch the match. That is good. In case you weren't with us for the first stream, unfortunately, Peacock has been screwing the pooch and haven't been able to watch the match, but it is up now, and Newcastle are leading Liverpool through former Liverpool man John Joe Shelvey, and I will throw up the lineup real quick. Also, if you haven't been paying attention or whatever, you don't know that Virgil, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones all have COVID, so they are out. But Liverpool should be able to take care of business here. Have a little bit of a hill to climb. Because we are down 1-0. But all is well in the Beatties Beat household, since we have the feed of the game now. It is Thiago on the ball. He plays centrally to Hendo, who tries to slip somebody through. It was a little bit lacking in intention. He just kind of plopped it into an area that he was hoping either Trent or Salah would have found themselves on the end on, but not the case. And Newcastle have a goal kick. Let me just see, again, since I haven't been able to watch up until just now, let me try and tune in on some stats here to see how... Oh, and it's Jota who has an effort, and he fires with his left foot. It is wide of the near post. That was a pretty good chance. You definitely don't want to see... You don't want to see too many of those go by the wayside, because then you start to worry that it is one of those days for Liverpool. But Diogo Jota is in quite fine form. He burst past John Joe Shelvey, and he just had to skirt it inside the near post. He was wide of the near post, but it hits the outside of the side netting. Also, Alisson had a crazy Alisson moment as Matip is on the ball here. He plays it centrally to Konate. He works it over to Thiago, who's playing quite down the left-hand side. Here's Hendo. Plays it to Trent. Back to Hendo. Matip going for a little wander. Oh, and it's a beautiful dummy by Ox. And Jota is able to play it centrally, but Newcastle kind of thwarted it. And it looked like Liverpool were just going to pick somebody's pocket there and bang that ball home. Ooh, it was number 14, who I think is Hayden, and I think that was possibly Thiago or Ox right on his tail. Oh, there's a corner, and there's a Newcastle player down. Surely this play is going to be stopped. Mane plays it, and it's Jota who scores! But will this count? I'm not sure. Let's see if they put it. All right, they put it up on the scoreboard. That's crazy. I mean, I'll be pretty surprised actually if that stands for one of two reasons. You think that either maybe it's a foul, or if Mike Dean doesn't think any foul was committed, the player was down on the floor for a good, I would say, 10 seconds. And with how seriously they're taking these safety measures, you would think that play would have been stopped. Yeah, here's the replay. 45 is about when the players went down. Well, of course, they paused the replay, but yeah, it is about 10 seconds by the time the ball hits the back of the net. As well, let's throw it up for the time being. You've got a goal on the board, and that was Diogo Jota, the red hot Portuguese. gentlemen. The other good news is that Liverpool, injury-wise, is doing quite nicely. We've got, I think, just Harvey Elliott that's injured. It was Curtis and Firmino that were out due to injury. Oh, what's happening there? Anyway, it is rather nice that Liverpool do have. Excuse me 1 second. Well, I just have to turn the volume down here just a bit. All right, sorry guys. We've got here. Anyway, I was saying that it's quite nice that that Liverpool have some players returning from injury, including Firmino. I actually thought Firmino was going to get the start today. Of course, you had the players out with COVID, but just have to get through this match, and one match at a time is the cliche. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if the Tottenham game goes ahead on Sunday, seeing as though they've already had a game postponed due to COVID outbreaks. I believe it was their match with Leicester that was put off. Sorry, I'm just getting into the chat to welcome everybody. Welcome. Let me know your name, where you are from. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Allison with a nice save just there on Alan St. Maximin. Sorry, I gotta mute these guys. I'm getting some crystal ball like commentary. Here we go. Oh, put Allison away there. You've got Mata playing it forward to Hendo, back to Trent as Liverpool slowly build. Konate playing the ball out to Robbo. Interesting that Robbo has really cemented his place once again. Even though Tsimikas has had quite a good season thus far. And a ball gets played through to Mane, and it's Mo Salah with the second goal of Liverpool's game. And Liverpool are in the lead where they belong. Let's go. Mohamed Salah. Goal time, 2-1. And Mo Salah puts Liverpool into the lead. There he is. He kisses the floor as usual, and he salutes the Anfield crowd. Wow, Newcastle really did it to themselves there. There was, who was that with short blonde hair in the midfield, played it centrally to Jonjo Shelvey, who was he was under pressure and he played it back to his center back. But that was not the right move because it was not accurate enough, and that really sprung Sadio Mane. You can give Jonjo Shelvey the assist on that goal. You can give Shelby the assist on that goal as Sadio had a chance on goal. It was saved by Dubravka. You really can't blame Dubravka for his goalkeeping on either goal. He made the initial stop in both cases, but then Salah this time was able to bury the parried save from Dubravka, as Newcastle seemed to be kind of losing a little bit of their calmness, maybe losing a little bit of their game plan. It's got to be very difficult to come to Anfield with Liverpool in this kind of form. You've got Eddie Howe handed over the keys in a really difficult and interesting situation, as as soon as Newcastle was taken over by the Saudis, a lot of people were fearful that, well, they haven't even had a transfer window as of yet, so it'll be interesting to see what they do in January. I do think that whatever, even if it's stupid, even if it's a stupid signing, it's not all the time where you just spend any money and that's going to bail you out. But I do think that they just need something. They need some sort of quality. It's really only Saint Maximin, who everybody's sort of partially in love with. Definitely a fascinating player. But yeah, I mean, I said in the pre-match on the previous stream that there's not a single Newcastle player that would make Liverpool's starting 11. So I think that definitely makes it difficult on them. Just updating my socials since we have a new stream going. Forgive me. Here we go. Share. Copy. Just do a little bit of sound here. Here you've got, I think that was Thiago down the right hand. No, it wasn't Thiago. That was Ox down the right hand side playing a nice, not sliced ball in, but driven ball into the back post. It was in a nice position, but just didn't fall right for the Liverpool recipient. But Liverpool's still in possession as Robbo is on the ball, and he has a scooped effort down the line. As we have a comment from Anna Carpi, and then it gets cut off. Friends in the Pelota application. A game totally free in HC. Okay, so that's a... sorry, but I don't take advertisements here. Anyway, nice to see Liverpool back in the lead, and Thiago almost came away with the ball there in midfield for another transition. We got Mike Dean on the whistle today. All right. Hendo on the ball. Plays it out to Thiago, who's been very much down the left-hand side of the field. Almost playing like a left midfielder. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if he's just getting sucked out there because that's where the space is, as Mo tries to play a really beautiful Jota with a really nice kind of snatched volley that just kind of sails over, but a really nice effort by Jota there. At this moment, just like to kind of give a honorary mention to Sergio Aguero, who very sadly had to retire from football yesterday. He only played probably a few matches for Barcelona. You got a feel for him on that as well, seeing as though he kind of got sold a bag of goods that he thought he was going to play with his buddy Lionel Messi, and he showed up and he was gone to Paris. But in any case, it's not about that. It's really about one of the finest footballers that I've ever seen play. I've really admired watching him, even though he played for one of Liverpool's arch enemies. I think anybody can really appreciate and admire how Aguero played the game. In case you didn't hear, he had to retire due to a heart complication. Was Trent just fizzed in a beautiful ball to Sadio Mane, but pretty adeptly dealt with there by the Newcastle defense. That it's always tough when you're retreating and trying to clear the ball, but able to. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Salah with a beautiful first time outside of the boot. Wow, I can't speak today. Forgive me while I kind of find my bearings. It's been a lot of twists and turns with technology and getting ourselves underway as Ox puts a pretty pathetic effort over the goal. That was a difficult one. But anyway, I was saying Sergio Aguero, I mean, I grew up idolizing Alan Shearer, who is on the back of this jersey here. Shearer. He was my favorite player. He was so good. I mean, of course, in America in the 90s, and it's Mo Salah threw on a goal! And he just drags it a little bit wide of the post. Let me get back to my tangent. Growing up in the United States in the 90s, obviously there was no Premier League on TV, so we had 8mm tapes that we were given by some family friends that actually were Liverpool fans, and the sole reason that I'm a Liverpool fan today. Shout out to Neil and Dan. But anyway, they would give us 8mm tapes, and it would all be match of the day, and so it was really fun to watch these highlights from those that did it best. My brother was a soccer player, and we were always told that if he wants to be really good, he should learn from the best, watch the best. And those were the players plying their trade in the Premier League. So in any case, of course, during the 90s, Alan Shearer was just about everywhere, and he is the lead goal scorer of all time for the Premier League. So Shearer was an idol of mine, and I really think that Aguero was obviously played in a bit of a different time period, but he is 98% as good as Alan Shearer. I mean, he never was able to catch him, but I mean, just the amount of records that he set. And check out Duncan Alexander tweeted that Aguero scored as many hat-tricks as all these absolutely wonderful players combined. He just set so many records, and he worked so hard, and he came in to the league at a time. Trent played a corner in, but it was headed clear. Aguero came into the league at a time where those small guys weren't really doing it. He was like kind of the start, and he's obviously a City legend. I mean, prior to him playing for City, I think they were really in like the Robinho days of just signing whoever we can sign. Also parallel with perhaps what Newcastle is going to go through. It'll be interesting. But anyway, I mean, Aguero really made City what they are today. And so you got to give him a whole lot of credit for taking that leap of faith. And, he stayed at the club for, was it close to 10 years? And so that's a kind of a rarity as well. But yeah, just the way he played the game, his tenacity, his anticipation was just amazing to watch. And so it's really sad. So all the best to him in his recovery and, hopefully a calm retirement and whatever he wants to do. So I just wanted to share those sentiments with my audience. And yeah, I mean, since I touched on Shearer, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle. I mean, it's kind of almost like an Everton type thing with me. Liverpool fans are supposed to hate Everton. I'm not saying I like Everton, but they've never been so much of a threat during my fandom of Liverpool. So it's kind of like a cutesy type of look at Everton that, they're like the annoying little brother and we're supposed to dislike them, but, they've never really rained on our parade too much. So in any case, again, back in the 90s, perhaps I should have and would have hated Newcastle, but Newcastle they've always been a mismanaged club in my lifetime, and they're such an iconic club, though. I love the black and white stripes, and I kind of do. I'm not going to say they're like a second team or anything like that, but I've never really had much reason to hate Newcastle, and hopefully they turn things around, because I do think it is one of those clubs where football's better when they're a good team, or at the very least in the Premier League. Say similar things to Leeds. I think there's just a lot of nostalgia there for those that watched both teams back in the 90s and the 2000s, that they were real titans of the game, and they've both really fallen off. But happy to have them in the Premier League, and who knows, maybe we'll walk these comments back if Newcastle really becomes like the next Chelsea or City, and we kind of get sick of them. But it definitely will make things interesting. I won't make any comments about the morality of their owners. I think a discussion can be had there, but I don't know. I think it's very easy to be hypocritical in making statements. If you're going to condemn one club, there's relativity going on, but nobody's saints, and this is really just entertainment. So sometimes I feel like you can kind of check that at the door. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm also happy to engage in any sort of debate or discussion about controversies about that. But anyway, I see we've got some viewers following along today. I appreciate that. Please jump in the comments, and I'm happy to have a chat with you. As it is 5 minutes left in the first half, and then we'll take a break and rejoin for the second half. Kind of wondering how Liverpool fans feel about this first half. Obviously, nobody loves to concede the first goal, but I think you can give credit to the Reds for being imperfect but rebounding in the first half. Thiago gets the ball from Salah, does a nice little step over, and then tries to feed Jota, but that is snuffed out by the Newcastle defense. And Liverpool back in possession, but have to reload with the ball back to Alisson. Here's Matip, who floats an interesting ball out to Mo Salah, who brings it down and then backheels it to Trent down the sideline. That had Liverpool fans' heartbeat raised a bit, but It turns out that Trent actually puts his foot on the ball and goes possession mode. Here's Salah, who he gets tackled by Joelinton. There we go. Mike Dean plays advantage as Sadio was fouled, but he plays a ball. He retained possession, played a ball out to Trent and Salah, which didn't get anywhere, but Liverpool still in possession. Thiago plays a beautiful floated ball in behind the defense, and you would have put money on Mo getting on the end of that. Mo puts his foot out to try and bring the ball down, but it just is a little bit too high and a little too deep for Mo to get on the end of, and it is going to be out for a Newcastle goal kick. Konate on the ball. Ooh. Konate tries to feed someone right down the middle, Matip style, but Newcastle have the ball, and Maximan is running all himself, has now 40 yards now. He runs into a bit of a wall and then tries to fire it towards the middle to find a teammate, but Liverpool, the red shirts were aplenty in the box and able to snuff that one out. As it is now Mohamed Salah as the ball gets away from me, but not from Mo as he crosses the ball into Sadio, and that gets... Ooh, Sadio plays a beautiful Cruyff pass to Robbo down the left-hand side. That has been very, very successful for Liverpool in the past two games. In the Villa game in particular, that pass was really doing Liverpool a world of good, as Robbo, I think he could have taken a touch because that ball was just played really nicely into space. He was chasing it down towards the byline and he tried to keep it in and play it first time, so he was off balance and wasn't able to get the cross that he wanted to get in. But anyway, Liverpool's still in possession here. Wondering what the possession statistics are so far in this half, because it's been all Liverpool since I've been watching. Let us see. 78% possession for the Anfield Reds, as Trent plays a short corner to Salah, interestingly, right down the byline, who plays it back to Trent. That is... I don't know if we want to see more of that because that kind of spurned the chance, I think. There was a floated ball towards the back post as Matip was able to kind of standing jump head it back towards the middle, but it was a looping header, and Dubravka was able to comfortably collect, as there is 2 minutes of added time, as you can see right there. A long ball forward by Newcastle. Down the right-hand side, they find, say, Maximan, who does about 8 step-overs, and Hendo tries a bit of challenge in, misses. He plays another low cross in, and it is actually not dealt with by Liverpool, but now we can come away. There's Salah, who gets fouled by Joelinton, and then Jota seems to get fouled. It's going to be a yellow for There's the halftime whistle, folks. I am going to take a short break and I will be back with you. Stay right here and we will be on for the second half. Thank you. All right, I'm back with a new position, as you can see. Hopefully that is better video quality. I don't know, I got to figure things out going forward. But anyway, as we can see right here in just a moment, second half is live. I think no changes made on the Liverpool side. Let me know in the comment how you think Ox is doing. It's funny because I'm always saying that Ox's performance is adjudged to be equivalent with how the scoreboard is reading. I think he's an interesting player to observe. Obviously, his Liverpool career has never really had the opportunity to be too overly consistent due to injuries or selection. But anyway, I think he's doing relatively well today. A little bit quiet as Matip tries to find Ox, and it is intercepted by Joelinton. Newcastle can't string two passes together, so Liverpool back on the ball as Ox thumps the ball forward pretty aimlessly, and Dubravka will collect it. Coming out of the halftime break, not really getting anyone to comment today. That's okay. Everyone's being shy. But it's not too late. Please do jump in the comments box. But without further ado, I'm going to rattle off the trivia answers that I was looking for. This being the players that have played for both Liverpool and Newcastle in the Premier League era. I'm looking for 8 answers. I believe there are more, but some of the ones are not really players of too much consequence. So I'm also looking for a golden answer, not in the 8. So that's a bonus round. If anybody knows it, there's really no real way to know which one I'm looking for, but if you happen to guess it, I can give you a shout out on Twitter. That'll be the prize for today. Maybe going forward we can come up with a better prize or something like that. But anyway, without further ado, the 8 players that I was looking for that have played for both Liverpool and Newcastle in the modern era are John Joe Shelby playing today. And Ox is bundled over in the box, but Mike Dean points to not the penalty spot, but the corner flag. I think probably fair. And it's a little bit of a shove there by Lascelles. I think that was not wise of him, but I think you can just barely get away with that being a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, even though his hands went like this. But here is Trent, who is going to take a corner from the near side, and a sea of teal is there to head it away. But Liverpool are in possession down the right-hand side, and Trent, I think, kind of muffed that as he tried to play the ball back to retain possession, and it goes out for a throw-in. But anyway, so here are the 8 names I was looking for. John Joe Shelby. James Milner. Did you get that one? Gini Wijnaldum. Dietmar Hamann. Let's see if I can remember all of them offhand. The golden answer, because I'm running out, is Javi Manquillo, who is actually starting for Newcastle today. That was a bit of a crazy one. He actually has played for both Sunderland and Newcastle. He's played for Liverpool. He's played for Atletico Madrid. Not quite the prospect that I guess Brendan Rodgers, was that who signed him, was hoping for when we signed him way back in whatever that was, 2013. So that's 5. Who else am I missing from the Premier League era? Andy Carroll, of course. That's 6 at the time of Premier League record signing. I need 2 more. Here There we go. I'm going to have to cheat on my own game here. I've forgotten who it is. Some of the older players. Oh, okay. Yep, okay. The two I really should have gotten. Another one is an outside back that also didn't so much live up to the expectation, but more so than Javi Manquillo, Jose Enrique, and Michael Owen, who I should have gotten that one. I just don't think of him as a Newcastle player, but when he signed for them, that was a pretty big deal for Newcastle. Of course, signing him from Real Madrid. Oh boy, here is Ibu Konate down on the ground, and he is holding his left knee. Seems to be in a bit of pain. Hopefully it's not a serious injury because he's getting harried there. Oh, and he got pushed, and it seems like he landed on his knee. He did wince quite strongly and smacked the ground with his left palm pretty quickly as he hit the ground. But it looks like he can gingerly walk this one off. Yeah, I mean, immediately you worry about ligament damage or something like that, but I didn't really think, my first hunch is it wasn't one of those because usually I think those are kind of non-contact injuries. This one, he really just fell on his knee. So yeah, there you have it. Those are the 8 Premier League era players that have played for both Liverpool and Newcastle. That's quite a high number, I thought. Now, as far as the more legacy type players, there are 4 that I took note of. Peter Beardsley, I think he's an easy one. John Barnes, I would have not have gotten without doing research. I did not know that he ever played for Newcastle. Ian Rush, I did not know played for Newcastle. And fourthly, Kevin Keegan. Obviously, he played in the 70s, so for a lot of you out there, that's probably a difficult one to maybe have gotten, but I think I would have put that one together without research due to his strong ties to Newcastle, and I think he famously was Liverpool's star forward before signing King Kenny as he departed for Hamburg, as it wasn't so common back in those days to play continentally, but he did so, and just goes to show sometimes as fans you can be worried about what's going to happen when you sell a star player, but I'm not saying it happens so often, but there are situations where you can go from strength to strength. Obviously, a lot of fans probably were rightly worried when Coutinho left because he was one of our best players, but it's only gotten better and better since Coutinho has left. Poor guy. But anyway, there you go. That's the... Oh, wait. Did I get all of them? Because I thought Manquillo wasn't in the 8 that I was looking for in the first place. Let's see. Craig Bellamy was the name that I did not mention. So there you go. That's a list of 13 names. Some pretty notable names that have played for both Liverpool and Newcastle. So that was a fun one. As the second half, first 10 minutes has been really more of the same from the first half. Not really too many chances just yet, but Liverpool still dominating possession, 76%. No changes as of yet. Although in the first half, in the 15th minute, it was Jamal Lewis who pulled a hamstring. And Matt Ritchie had to come on for him, but since then no changes from either side. Oxlade-Chamberlain was driving forward, dashing forward with the ball, and he is brought down by Ryan Fraser, who picks up a yellow card. This is about 30 to maybe 35 yards from goal, as Liverpool will have a free kick here. Probably Trent will be standing over the ball. Just taking a look at the Liverpool bench, you've got Firmino, Taki, Milner, Keita, Joe Gomez, Tsimikas, Nico, Cuiven, and Marcelo Pitaluga. We've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench for Liverpool, as this is listing all of these players as injured or COVID for Liverpool. Virgil, Adrian, Nat Phillips. The ball is swung in by Trent, and it is Sadio Mane who was arriving at the back post, got his head on it, and that was looking like it was going to be a nice end result for Liverpool. I think Sadio was trying to square that header back to the top of the 6 where the goalkeeper couldn't get it, and then you just need a friendly touch from a Liverpool or Newcastle player and just bundle it into the back of the net, but it wasn't cut back enough, and Dubravka was able to come out and collect that one. Oh, and Newcastle almost equalized through Jacob Murphy as he had an effort at the top of the box. Wow. I'm sure Allison won't be too pleased about that one. Thiago was trying to close down, as well as Hendo, as that effort was bent towards the back post. It looked a little bit more dangerous at first glance from the default TV position, but the replay kind of shows that that was probably a good 3 yards wide. Hendo on the ball in the middle. He plays it into Jota, who is fouled. He goes down in a bit of pain, but that will be another free kick for Liverpool about 30 yards from goal, and this seems to be Trent territory. I'd give it to him for an effort on goal. I wouldn't be too displeased with that, although this is quite some distance, probably just out of Trent range, maybe smart Trent range, I should say. We got another chat from Camilla Reynolds. I'll give you maybe try again, Camilla. I don't know if that is what you meant to say. Otherwise, we got some spam going on in the chat. And it's Robbo who plays it in. It was Trent who left it, and it was a little bit of a weird one where it looks like Liverpool's going to get a corner out of this. But it looked like the runs were maybe not timed super well, as or maybe the placement of the cross was lacking from Robbo, but the linesman thinks that one just skimmed off of Joelinton's bleached hair as it goes out for Liverpool's 8th corner of the match. And it's Trent to play it in, headed out by Joelinton, and Mo Salah tries a first-time left-footed volley, and he slices that one. What's the word I'm looking for? Harmlessly away for a goal kick. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Whatever holidays you do celebrate, I wish a festive period to you all. And as it relates to the Premier League, this is where the games really start to speed along. You've got today's match. Hopefully Liverpool can maintain the win and pick up the 3 points and maintain their 1 point differential behind City. It's kind of amazing with City beating Leeds 7-0 yesterday that Liverpool, I believe, coming into today was still 2 goals better goal difference than City. Just goes to show how relentless Liverpool have been all season. And so looks like Liverpool, I think, are 3 goals better than City this season. But of course, the all-important thing is points, and Liverpool just a point behind City these days. But still a lot to be played for, accounted for. As Liverpool trying to come forward, Liverpool just not clicking super well today. It could be a little bit better, but so far it has been enough to get the better of Newcastle. Gonna need some good experience and composure to see this game out. We can't be letting Jacob Murphy have any more chances on our goal, because I think you give any player in the Premier League a shot at the top of the box, and they're capable of putting it in the back of the net. But yes, Newcastle today, and then you've got Tottenham on Sunday. We'll see if that match goes ahead. Of course, Tottenham had a postponed match with Leicester, so maybe dubious that that match will be all squared away by Sunday, but we'll see. No word on that yet. And then after that, Liverpool have another fixture in the Carabao Cup against Leicester on the Wednesday, and then Sunday, the day after Christmas, otherwise known as Boxing Day, you've got Liverpool against Leeds. I almost said Leicester, but Leicester is actually 2 days after that. So that's just a crazy, but it happens to everybody. It's not everybody that's in the Carabao Cup or the Champions League, but I think Liverpool can cope with it, and it still remains to be seen whether the African Cup of Nations will go ahead. My guess is that it probably won't, which it's probably a little unfair of me to say that I would take delight in that. I think that a lot of Liverpool fans are saying that could probably come across as insensitive, because obviously the African Cup of Nations is a very important tournament, particularly to fans in those countries that will be looking forward to it. But I think what you can say is that if it doesn't go ahead, that Liverpool fans will certainly consider that to be a Christmas gift, as that will mean that Liverpool will not be without Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Naby Keita. I think those are the three that would go to the AFCON. Of course, Matip is Cameroonian, but he is not the best of friends with the Cameroonian FA, as Newcastle gets slipped through by Maximan down the right-hand side, and they play a quick ball in centrally, and it was intended for Ryan Fraser. It looked pretty promising for Newcastle there for a second, but Trent was able to have a last-ditch sliding interception of the ball. It was a little bit of a scary one because he was the last one back, but Mike Dean did the miming of he got the ball, so that is good news. As it's Hendo on the top of the box. He took a half volley effort as the ball was dropping out of the sky, and Hendo scored enough of those where you can rightly get excited about the destiny of that sort of situation. But there was one or two too many teal shirts in the way that time. We've got some shirtless gentlemen behind the goal that Newcastle are attacking this half, as they showed that replay of the challenge from Trent, and sure enough, he did get all the ball there. He and Fraser were kind of neck and neck there, so of course Trent made some contact with him, but I think that was a pretty straightforward one that I don't think any ref would really be bold enough to see that as a foul. The folks on on the Red Men chat were saying, who says Trent can't defend? And I do think that Trent does get some over-enthusiastic flack about his defending abilities. Of course, he is, his attacking gameplay is definitely his strength. And perhaps his defending isn't quite up to par with that. But, I mean, if his defending was up to par, then you could pretty much shut it down. Because that would mean he'd basically be Maldini and Roberto Carlos at just the same time. That's probably impossible, but I mean, I think that Trent will go down as probably the best right back in history. I think he's already there in terms of setting records and, just being pretty damn consistent. I know he had his wobbles from last season, but I think it was pretty appalling. Well, I guess Southgate probably has his little excuse that Trent pulled a groin, so he dropped him, but I think it was pretty ridiculous that Trent was out of the England team. Not that it's really that much of a difference to me. I'm not particularly an England fan. I tend to root for them because I do like a bunch of their players, but anyway, some news here that you've got Chelsea and Everton level at 1-1 in the 83rd minute over there. As Everton, are playing some players that I've never even heard of and still getting a result. A lot of young players, I would imagine. Here you've got Branthwaite with the goal. Jared Branthwaite, a 19-year-old center back, scoring a goal, assisted by Anthony Gordon, 20-year-old academy product. Then you've got Ellis Sims, a 20-year-old, starting up top. And wow, that would be some result for Liverpool if that were to remain. As you had Mason Mount with the goal. Wow. Alan St. Maximin doing a little bit of Cafu down the sideline. He loses the ball and Liverpool comes away with it, but he's certainly not afraid to showboat. But he just doesn't have any help. It's a shame for neutrals that are wishing to watch him play. I wonder what the deal with Miggy Almiron is. I was going to say he started well. I don't think he really even did start so well for Newcastle, as Callum Wilson is warming up on the bench. Interesting that he doesn't get the start. Maybe he's coming off an injury or something that I don't know about. But some interesting things over at Newcastle that Eddie Howe needs to figure out. I was saying earlier, I don't think that Newcastle will get relegated. I think whoever they sign, they'll be able to sign some quality and turn things around. I do think Eddie Howe is a pretty good manager. I put him in like the Brendan Rodgers camp of he can do more with less type of thing. And I do think that he'll turn things around. I mean, the morale for Newcastle has to be dead low. We're almost halfway through the season. They have one win. I was kind of shocked to learn that coming into this match, they are in second bottom place. I was expecting them to be in dead last, but I suppose that is reserved for Norwich, who are doing even more poorly than Newcastle. But Ryan Fraser coming through the middle of the pitch, and he was closed down illegally, so says Mike Dean, who gives a yellow card to Jordan Henderson. Bobby Firmino is getting ready on the sideline, so that'll be good to see him make his re-entry for the Reds. As we'll see what kind of threat Newcastle can pose here. About 25 yards from goal, it is Shelvey who wants to get his name on the score sheet once again. And one other player standing over the ball, that would be... is that Fabian Schär, maybe? As Liverpool are lining up about a 4-man wall, I think. Allison seems to be happy with it. 5-man? Is that 5 or 6 man. Oh, it's Shelby with a curled effort, and it was always wide. Allison is pretty furious there. I'm not really sure what about, because I think that was well over the wall. Ibu Konate was towering. That was quite a leap from him, but it was even over his head. And I think Konate is like 6'4", 6'5", so I don't really know what Allison can be upset about. It did curl wide, but Allison was definitely looking pretty nervous as he flung himself to the other side of the goal. Thiago swings the ball as he falls to the floor in the direction of Trent. Trent plays a little 1-2 with Salah and tries to swerve a ball in to the penalty area, but it seemed like it nicked the head of a Newcastle player, but Mike Dean says no, and he awards Newcastle a throw-in coming out of 10 yards from their byline, as Bobby seems to be coming on, and I think it's also going to be Naby Keita also coming on. I'm not sure for whom just yet, but let me tee up. I must have a Keita somewhere. Trent tries to thread a ball in through to Mo, but Mo has some company as they saw that ball coming, and it is in the hands of Dubravka now. Keita. Good to see Keita coming back. I say coming back. I don't even recall what he's coming back from, but I think it was a maybe groin injury. Maybe that's just convenient that I just guess he's coming back from an injury. But in any case, like I said earlier, it's very nice that Liverpool won't have too many selection issues in the very near future after Virgil, Fab, and Mo Salah tries to curl it towards the back post. It was looking good on the setup. And I think that's a deflection. If not, he just really didn't catch that one. Yeah, that has to be a Liverpool corner. And Mo is being substituted here. He does not look happy about it. Would he ever be? Salah is making way for, I'm sure that one will be for Bobby. Firmino. Very nice. Bobby getting back to it. And you see Ox coming off for Keita. I don't think that Ox was really at his best today. He was pretty invisible and kind of some sloppy touches, although I did give that play-by-play of him bursting through the middle of the field and getting brought down by Ryan Fraser. So he didn't do nothing. But I do think that Liverpool, I think, again, I do think, well, here, now I'm saying I think he's been pretty emblematic of the Liverpool performance, which I think has been good, but certainly could be better. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm pretty happy with, provided the result. I think it's completely fine to pick up a win and move on, and like I said, not lose too much sleep over. Not every performance is going to be 10 out of 10. But, if Liverpool can close this one out, and let's check the Chelsea score to make sure that's still level, and it is into stoppage time for Chelsea at home to Everton. I just have to gloat and kind of pat myself on the back here, because I did say that Chelsea, I think, is lacking the experience to really be too deeply involved in this title race. It's still early. I don't call it a title race. The media will, because they want to, sell papers. Not that newspapers really sell these days, but they want to make headlines and market the league, which you can sort of, you can understand, but at the same time, I would prefer a bit more integrity and honesty. I do think that almost, and I think it's every channel, maybe some more than most, but I think Sky, BBC, they'll all do it. If there's a headline to be had, they'll go for it. And I guess that translates to British pound signs. So that's just the way it goes. But yeah. Anyway, I just think that Chelsea have quite a bit of depth, but I do think that they will fall off in this title challenge for this year. And again, for those of you who are interested in playing by my rules, the title race doesn't begin until you can put all the fixtures on the screen. And so that's like 8 or 9 matches left. I'm just following along on my phone here because I am rather interested in Chelsea not getting a winning goal, as of course they're committing so many men forward. You'll just see my eyes kind of darting back and forth. Don't mind me. But anyway, perhaps I should just focus on my own team, because that's typically when you get jinxing type moments. Jota still working hard. He's playing back and forth between Trent. He lays it off to Keita, who loses possession, but he tackles Joe Ellington, who goes to ground. I think a lot of refs would probably give a foul there, but credit to Mike Dean for, staying true to what he deems to be a foul. And Keita almost once again came up with that Energizer Bunny gegenpressing mastery where he wins the ball high up the pitch. But Liverpool wasn't able to cleanly gain possession of the ball there. But we are in possession now, as it's Joel Matip on the ball. Konate, I think Liverpool have 10 players inside the Newcastle half. At this point, it's only Konate who is really anywhere near the halfway line. Hendo plays a ball in towards Robbo, who was marked, but it is Javi Manquillo who challenges that ball and gets a head on it, and it goes out for a corner kick, as there is 1 minute left between Chelsea and Everton. It's Chalobah down the right-hand side. He drops it to Reece James, who plays a pretty tasty ball in, almost from Trent territory, that kind of deeper position, or really Hendo territory. He's generally the one that's swerving those balls in, but it was cleared away. I'm jumping back and forth between two games now. But there's only 45 seconds left in that Chelsea game. It is going to be Trent who is going to play an in-swinger from the left-hand side. Liverpool looking for that insurance goal. Can we get it? No, it's Joe Ellington with the head away. It goes out to Trent, who's able to bring the ball down. Oh, Chelsea's through! But they're not. Oh, wow. Naby Keita goes for a thwack from way deep, and that was never testing the keeper, as it went well wide. And Rafa is saying, calm down, calm down. 5 seconds left, and that's going to be it in the Chelsea match. Liverpool, if we maintain this win, will be 4 points ahead of Chelsea going into, well, I suppose the weekend, but if the weekend gets postponed, then headed into Christmas, we'll be 4 points clear of third, but 1 point behind the leaders, City. But I think that's pretty important. I do think that it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea responds. It'll be interesting to see how the media covers them, to see, and that's a final there. Attaboy, Agent Rafa. There we go. It'll be interesting to see how the media cover Chelsea slipping here. Is it just going to be a blip and the media kind of backs Chelsea to regain regain some steam and catch up with the leaders? Or are they going to say that, Chelsea are choking in a way? I think that I even think that would be harsh, because I think in order to say that you're choking in a way, that you're in some way like the favorites of it, which I never made Chelsea, and it's Keita who played Sadio Mane threw in on goal, and he just needed a little bit of a toe poke past the goalkeeper. Sort of an instinctive toe poke. He didn't even really get a touch in on the ball, but if he just got that stab of a foot in first, then I think that would have been a goal. And it's Firmino who plays it forward. And it jumped up with his effort on goal. It is blocked. Jota was 7 yards from goal, and it was I couldn't tell if it was Dubravka or a diving defender that was able to get a shin in the way. It was somebody's shin that was blocking that effort by Jota. But it remains just a 1-goal lead, which Liverpool looking comfortable, but a little bit scary, because you don't want to rest too much on your laurels and say, we've been killing these guys, and leave that door open for a late equalizer. That would be a horrible thing. Alisson plays the ball forward to Jota, who was being held up by a defender, but that allowed Mane to kind of slip in behind him and almost created a breakaway situation, but Newcastle was able to retreat and prevent that sort of situation. Thiago plays a 1-2 with Keita, but that 1-2 is intercepted by Newcastle. Liverpool still in possession. Hendo here in the 6th plays it out to Trent, who's out in the corner of the box. There's that Hendo special. He plays a curved, but more of a floated ball towards the back post, and it is Bobby who goes up to head the ball and does not make contact. The Liverpool social media pointing out that this is a pretty interesting tweet that my boy Liverpool Lee just sent me. Chelsea's undoing this season is likely to be they are more functional and organized. Thought it would be a strength, but Liverpool and City's freedom offers something they can't. I think that's really well said. That's pretty concisely sums up how I feel about them. Sure, I think, again, I felt like the media was really giving Chelsea a whole lot of credit about being super organized and what a wonderful defense they have. And they have a good defense, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to ride that right into a championship. I think that they need to have a more ominous and consistent attack. I mean, I really don't think... I mean, it's easy to say when... It's easy to obviously have hindsight and say, hey, Liverpool and City have scored the most goals. They have the most potent attack. But, I mean, come on. You had to know that going into the season that... Well, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, there were a lot of people just, again, Liverpool didn't make too many sexy moves in the offseason, so some people might have been sleeping or slipping on Klopp's Liverpool and thinking that, the front three have played so many games and there's so many miles on their wheels, but, this is just Sadio Mane with probably the whiff of the season. He got all air there. That's not too often you see one of those. But anyway, Liverpool are as strong as ever. Maybe, I think it's a little premature to say, and Sadio tries to chip the keeper. I'm sorry, that was Keita. Another 30-yard effort from the Guinean. Or the Ghanaian. You tell me which is right. Here's Keita again. Let me guess, another shot. Oh, what a beautiful tackle by whomever that was. I think Isaac Hayden. That was a tackle from behind, got all ball and sent Keita to the floor. No question about that being a foul. It was just a clean tackle from behind. John Joe Shelby just boots the ball forward towards Callum Wilson, who did enter the pitch about maybe 5 minutes ago. And Matip and Callum Wilson maybe getting into a little bit of a fight there as Matip was kind of all over Wilson. I think to describe him as a gnat in a positive way, to harry him and make things difficult on him as opposed to any sort of, really... not malicious, but fouling type of way. But anyway, they kind of got up at the same time, and then their chests were together. And as you have macho Premier League players, that usually leads to a little bit of a discussion, but nothing more than that. No yellow cards brandished as play has gotten underway very quickly. Already it's Firmino that gets brought down in midfield, as they show the Keita effort once again. It was a sort of a ping pong situation where the ball came off of a Newcastle player and Keita just stepped up and tried to chip the keeper. Here's Joe Willock is coming onto the field. It's very interesting how many players that I would have started against Liverpool. Again, I'm not privy. Oh, and it's Trent. Oh, what a beautiful goal. That is some goal to seal this match as Trent just drills it, absolutely pipes this one in. Pipe City, shout out Johnny 5. What an unbelievable hit that is from the Scouser in our team. That is such a beauty. Check this one out on YouTube shortly after the match. Trent is all smiles. He traps it with that right foot and just thwacks it, and it is on a frozen rope right into the near post. Is it upper 90? Top of the goal? So, yeah. I mean, Dubravka gets about a finger on it as it just soars right into the back of the net. That was such a beautiful goal. Klopp is got to be happy about that one. There we are, folks. It is 3-1. That is going to seal the 3 points for the Reds here today. Just no stupid injuries or red cards to finish out the match, and I will be absolutely thrilled with this as Liverpool still pushing forward, and it's Thiago who played a ball towards the corner flag for Jota, who was able to cross the ball and create a bit of havoc in the Newcastle area, but it ends up with Dubravka. Here's Robbo on the ball. He plays it right to Trent as he was coming from left to right and finds his fellow fullback as Jota down the right-hand side again. He finds Keita. Take a guess. He goes for the toe ball shot this time. I think Keita's been on the field for 6 minutes and taken 5 shots. I'm exaggerating, of course, but Keita's definitely trying to make something happen, make an impression. And Thiago, it's so funny because Thiago, it can be one of the finest passers of the ball in the world, but I think you're lying to yourself if you call him a perfect glove fit for Liverpool. He still isn't quite that Liverpool style, although he's playing well. I'm not saying he isn't, but there's just certain different wavelengths where he'll hit a ball or he'll fall, or there's so many times. It's about once a game. It's almost like the Alisson type thing as Milner makes way. Milner comes on for Thiago. It's nice to see Milner come on against his former club, as there's Millie right on top of my face there. Good for the vice captain to come on and get some minutes I was just saying, Thiago, it's just he has a tendency to give the ball away really blatantly and ugly in an ugly manner, and sometimes it leads to a breakaway or whatever. But in this case, he tried to play almost like a chip or it might have even been a toe ball towards the left-hand side, and the player just didn't make the run, and it just went soaring out of bounds, nowhere near anybody. He basically would have gotten intentional grounding if it was the NFL, but that was just a miscommunication situation there. As we've got 4 minutes to go here, as we enter stoppage time, it's Trent who finds Sadio down the left-hand side. It'd be nice to get Sadio a goal because he's been working hard and trying to make things happen. Again, not so sharp today, but also again, this is not a game where I would really come down too critically on really any of our players. Let's see, kind of search my brain for whom I think has had the weakest game so far. I think everybody's been pretty solid all across the back line for sure. The Liverpool house account tweeted out, how about a Konate appreciation tweet? I think that's just trying to get him up to speed and get him some love. He has been quite good today. Matip is always great. Robbo, a little on the quiet side, but still pretty good. Definitely putting in some hard yards. Hendo's been pretty consistent. Here is Robbo receiving it from Mane. That connection down the left-hand side still is bearing fruit, and a dangerous spell of play for Liverpool here as we keep knocking on the door to improve that goal differential. It's Hendo to Robbo. Yeah, I think probably the weakest player today would have been Ox. And as I said, when he exited the pitch, I think that he did. He had some moments, but it just definitely wasn't his best. And then you've got Thiago, who I'm just gonna guess without looking. Twitter's gonna be really praising him. I'm saying that because it's typically in games where I really don't see Thiago stand out so much that other people are seeing things that I don't, which is completely fine. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. And then the front three has been magnificent once again. It's crazy. Salah scored. This is Salah's 15th game in a row. That equals a record with Jamie Vardy for successive games with a goal contribution, that being a goal or an assist. It's just so automatic or automotic, as I say on Twitter at times. Ooh, they show again the Trent effort. That is a beauty. But yeah, I mean, he's just so automatic. It's unbelievable. And long may it continue. Not only for the sake of Liverpool, but for him as an individual. He's such a great guy, and as Gary Lineker tweeted today, that he plays the game the right way. He plays it with a smile on his face, and Lineker said he would too if he was as good as Mo. He just makes the game look so, not only, it's a cliche to say makes the game look so easy. He makes the game look so fun. He's so talented and such a good guy, and he does look for his teammates. Really racking up the assists. I mean, it's crazy. If you add I'm curious. I'm going to look up after this game the goal contribution, or maybe I can look it up right now. The goal contributions in the Premier League between him and the next closest person might be 10 off, because his not only is his goal scoring record great, and he is top of the goal scoring charts, but I think the people that are even close to him are not anywhere near the assists that he's putting up. So let's see, goals in it, and that is the final whistle. A great match for Liverpool as we trail City by 1 point. And let's see, can I come up with this quickly? Goals, assists. Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, no, that's right. Mohamed Salah, I mean, this says 14 goals, 9 assists combined for 23. The next closest person, I don't know when this was last updated. I'm going to say probably before today, is Emmanuel Dennis. Credit to him, of Watford, who has 12, 7 goals and 5 assists. So, just unbelievable. Mo Salah, such a treat to watch. If you're not watching Liverpool week in, week out for whatever reason, you're missing out. He's the best player in the world right now, and it's an absolute privilege to watch players like this. I'm not saying he's as good as Messi and Ronaldo at their peak. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but it's really hard to argue with how on fire he is right now. And regardless of how you think he stacks up with whomever, he's just a joy to watch. And you just tune in every week. And I don't know what the betting odds are. You may not make too much money because they probably know how automatic he is, but he's such a consistent player, and he's going to do it each week. So anyway, I am going to sign off here then. Sorry about the technical issues today during the stream. I'll figure that out, and as always, striving to get better. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I also welcome any feedback. I love the people that chat to me during the game. But anyway, I will possibly see you on Sunday. Who knows if that match will still be on. We've got to see how all this Omicron goes. But anyway, we hope to see the lads out on the pitch, and hope everyone is healthy and well. And with that, I am signing off. This has been Beatty's Beat. Thanks for tuning in, and